I invest in myself a lot. I invest in my personal development and I invest in my professional development. Being surrounded by people who are shooting for something higher, like that is so like inspiring to me, and it's a challenge for me.
The biggest thing for me is like a lot of times, like I know I've seen heavy set people or older people like do back flips, jump, run fast, all that. But the one difference about diet that I try to relate to people is like I'm not feeling heavy. I'm feeling
Yeah.
light, move around.
Yes.
So that's been the
Yes.
biggest thing. That's been on the diet side of my confidence. It's been the biggest thing that I love, especially when I know people are gonna want to hear me talk. They're gonna want to be in close proximity of me. Got to have your smells together.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You
You
know what I'm
do.
saying? And so what I love is I would go through seasons of not wearing deodorant. And
Mm.
once I learned that, you know, people that can't go through phases of not wearing deodorant need deodorant, it made me like, okay, bro, what is the real odor of your body? Let's see what it's really hitting for. Now, I'll be honest, I lasted me about 3 more days, smooth. By day 5, like, okay, yeah, bro, you ate something that had your body, emitting some funk. But what that showed me though was when people make eye contact and then they lose eye contact, when people don't look you straight in the eye, when people are hesitant, you can tell they haven't had experiences that have allowed them to persevere, to become a new person, to develop. And so, yeah, it's a funny story, but I know for me, it's just like, how dare you see if your body is funky or not, and then allow your body to take a breath? How dare you see if the deodorant is affecting your body? And what I'm trying to draw the bridge to is when it comes to being less confident, we allow so much on the day to day that we don't question. And if we were, like you were saying, around people that make us question our reality, they make us question what we're eating, doing yoga or not, even like earthing, that can play a part. Uh, like, I don't know about you, but I've been angry, but I've had a headache and maybe I should just go lay down and go to sleep, right? But see, some of us will pop a pill or we'll eat ourselves to sleep, right?
Yeah. People have different, what strategies that they use to deal with whatever they're going through. And, for some people it is, using food as a mechanism to cope or to a band-aid. Some people have other vices, alcohol. Some people's vice is people, like where they, indulge
Or
in things
social, yeah,
with people, you know what I'm saying, as a way to cope with something or deal with something or numb, the pain. Some people do it with food, so there are a lot of different, strategies that people use to try to cope and navigate situations. And life is gonna life. And that kind of just, sets the stage for us to talk about, you know, what are some strategies that
exactly.
people can use when they're going through challenging times, things that have made their confidence take a hit, things that may have caused some a slump in their business or a plateau in their career or whatever they're doing. And I would say surrounding yourself with people that are going to help elevate you, challenge you, your
Right.
thinking, will kind of call you out, be that mirror, and
Hold you accountable, yeah.
and hold you accountable. Like, and it's not calling you out, it's really calling you up, elevating you, getting you from that low point where you are with your thinking or with your actions or your coping strategies, and calling you up to do something better. And like for me, I invest in myself a lot. I invest in my personal development and I
Mm-hmm.
invest in my professional development. And one of the ways that I continue to invest in my personal development is attending conferences and going to workshops, because we just recently met at a conference, and it's being surrounded by people who are shooting for something higher. Like that is so like inspiring to me, and it's a challenge for me. And although, like, I'm a doctor, that's my title, but we were in a room with people whose businesses are farther along than mine, people who have made, millions of dollars in their business. And my business has not hit $1 million yet, but was I intimidated? Was I, being shy or, withdrawing? No, I was leaning in, because being in those environments is going to help me get to that million faster. because it's the
Right.
energy transfer, it's the sharing of knowledge, it's the sharing of strategies, and not just talking about business, but how people are living their life. Things the holistic. People were talking about, how they manage their stress, things that they do when they're, worried about their business, looking at the numbers, looking at the data. Are we in a recession? Is my business gonna survive? All those things, and different strategies like self-care, meditation, positive self-talk, cleaning up our diets, cutting back on some of the alcohol. All of those things also help to shape us inside holistically, and the fruit that that's going to bring forth will manifest in our business endeavors, in the relationships that we make, in the connections, in the opportunities that are made available to us. But we have to want to do better and allow ourselves to be stretched and challenged, and not getting mad. And who do they think they are? When people call you up, be receptive to the feedback.
Exactly. I was on a call with someone, might have been this week. I said, man, I actually was friends with a client of mine, and I cut her off because we would have these great talks, and she would affirm some things in my life, and I would affirm some things in her life. But right up until she started like not following through, which is like, bro, we had these hours. I'm creating all these concepts and solutions to help her in her situation, and she did nothing with it. I said, you know what? I can't serving me. And it might sound kind of crazy to the average person, but if I'm giving you solutions and I'm sharing with you things that can help you, at the cost of me talking to you, it's like, bro, what's the point? And so,
Yeah.
but like you said, people, what I'm learning is this: we plan so much for what we want, but we actually don't ask ourselves if that is something that we're willing to live with. And what I've come to find is a percentage of us are more at peace with the chaos than with the solutions. And so, as a lifestyle pharmacist, I want to ask you, how comfortable are you saying no on your journey of being the lifestyle pharmacist?
So here's what I'm gonna tell you. No is a complete sentence. And saying no is something that I am very comfortable at saying. Now, there was a time when I was not as comfortable. It was just not as familiar to me, because many of us grow up in environments where, especially the woman, has to be superwoman. She has on this cape. She's gonna fix it for everybody in all the situations. People are calling or showing up at the house because they know that she's the reliable, strong one. Unless she can help us and swoop in and save the day. Well, guess what? That is exhausting. That is not sustainable. And many women, and I know some of them, and I was at one point on a path to modeling that behavior because it has been so normalized. And that does
Right.
kind of create chaos, and people have normalized this sense of chaos. And sometimes people will say that they desire peace, but they are not in alignment with things that produce a peaceful, calming environment. But for some people, it's unfamiliar and it's scary. So they lean into the familiar, which is the chaos, which is being a people pleaser. But they think that it's by I'm caring, I'm showing up for others, I'm serving others, but sometimes to the detriment of yourself. So to get back to your original question, I have been practicing saying no, and I encourage people to start practicing setting that boundary and saying no to things that don't serve you, things that go against your values, your belief system, things that make you feel defeated or depleted, things that bring you down, things that are an energy suck or an energy drain. Say no to those things. We don't have to just go along with the norms or go along to how it always has been or what your family did or what your friend group always did. You have the power to do something different. This is your life. And things that don't feel good to you in your mind, in your body, in your spirit, say no. Listen to yourself. Listen to those thoughts. Listen to your gut, that intuition, that feeling you have, and say no and set some boundaries. And what I've learned is people get and they get used to it. When I first started telling some of my friends and family no, when I started turning down opportunities, how about that? Wanting opportunities, but the opportunities, are flowing, but all opportunities are not in alignment. All opportunities are not a good opportunity for me. So taking the time to really evaluate things, use some discernment, look at what my goals are, what are my priorities, what am I trying to get to, what's my end goal? And if it doesn't align, if it doesn't fit, the answer is no. And it's not with an attitude, it's not rolling my neck and all the and the clapping and all of that. It's that doesn't have to be that. No can be polite. No. Nope. Everybody lives another day. The world does not end because you said no.
That's good. That's good. I wanted to ask you that because, like, it's something that I'm practicing a lot more. It is a daily commitment, and it's one of those hacks that made me feel more confident, to be honest, because I'm understanding that as an exercise, it is a skill set that can embody a superpower. Even more importantly, like, for example, my the job that I work, we had a lunch today, probably a safety meeting, but it ended up being just a lunch, and everybody's like so excited, right? Free food, got pizza, free Red Bull. I'm just like, bro, I don't eat pizza. I don't drink Red Bull. Like, why am I here, bro? I was job 2 hours away. I could be there, right? And so what's interesting is I meet coworkers that I haven't seen in months because we work different shifts. I'm like, oh, I forgot. Yeah, last time I saw you, you was health conscious. You went eating all the food. And I'm listening like, they remember, man. That's crazy. Like, bro, good thing good thing I'm consistent.
Good thing you're consistent. Yeah. Because you're challenging the norm. Like, normally people eat the pizza, eat the,
they would
the
like
burgers.
they would see me and like, what I'm learning is a lot of times life is really about the impression you have on people. And I've had some experiences where I've been fortunate to see myself as a light to others. And it makes me laugh because when it comes to saying no, that light can really change if you don't know how to say no.